Welcome to Big Valley Living. I'm Michelle. This is day 2 of the 30 days of preparedness. And I am very happy that you are all joining us to learn more about why we prep, how we prep, what we prep for. And it's just very exciting to be able to talk and share ideas. I do hope that you like all of these videos. You'll definitely notice the logo that's been around for a few years now. And I'm going to talk to you today about why my husband and I started prepping. In 2017, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. Prior to surgery, there are things that I needed to prepare for, mostly because my diet was going to be radically changing. I needed to change my diet prior to surgery, about a month prior to surgery, and then I had to be prepared to eat a very limited diet for 6 to 8 weeks after surgery, and that's what started it. I started my prepping by identifying what foods I could eat. Those were things like mashed potatoes. I couldn't eat any raw vegetables. I couldn't eat any meat. I couldn't have any nuts or seeds of any kind, and so it limited my diet. Well, I happen to absolutely love things like tomato soup, or let's see, I'm trying to think of all the things that I did eat. Cream of mushroom soup, I enjoyed that very much, I still do. And then I did a lot of mashed potatoes, and I even pre-prepared gravy, and I froze everything because at the time I didn't know how to can my own food. I actually wasn't even, I had never even been exposed to anybody who canned their own food. I had, the old seal a meal that you get at the Costco. So, we would put some things up with that. But having that diet was a little different. I just had to limit the vegetables that I ate. I had a lot of time to watch YouTube, ironically. So I would watch the canning shows, and I learned a lot about safe canning, pressure canning foods, water bath canning, and as of late, steam canning, which is like water bath canning, just use a lot less water, and there are a few different techniques that you use. Then we started pressure canning our own food, and the main reason that we started that was that we started really reading the labels, right? And the labels would have almost every label, and I should have just brought some, but there's corn syrup in almost everything, at least in the United States. I don't like frozen vegetables very much. Peas are about as far as I go. So that wasn't really an option. So instead of going that route, we started pressure canning. And we started out with things like carrots because we like cooked carrots. We eat a lot of tomato sauce, although now we do eat less. But we started canning our own tomato sauce because here in the Big Valley, we have a long growing season, and fortunately, we have a garden, and we also have farmers markets where we can buy things that we cannot grow ourselves or in sufficient quantities to can. We also have located some U-pick farms where we can go and choose our food straight from the vine, come home and prepare it. We are very fortunate, and it is not lost on us. So after canning, I wanted more ways to preserve food. So we got a Harvest Right freeze dryer. And the Harvest Right freeze dryer has just been wonderful because I will take kale or leafy greens, which are really hard to get enough of in a good healthy diet, but we know it's good for us. So we got our freeze dryer. The first things that we were freeze drying were things like kale, collard greens, spinach, and I would essentially blend them, put them onto the sheets that you freeze dry on, and then I turn them into powder, and I add that powder to everything. I did the same with mushrooms because mushroom powder is really good for you. And I'm actually getting to a point where I think I'm going to start freeze drying mushrooms that have even more. I was just doing button mushrooms. I should qualify that. But I'm thinking I'm going to get into doing things like lion's mane and other mushrooms that have different properties that help human bodies to be healthy and to heal themselves from within. They also have a lot of vitamins and minerals that I want to make sure that we incorporate into our diets, that it just doesn't always fit into the schedule to be constantly cleaning and dicing and doing things with vegetables. So the freeze dryer has been extremely useful for us. I recently saw on another channel where they had freeze dried sliced mushrooms. And you guys, I'm like a mushroomaholic. I can't get enough mushrooms. So while we do can mushrooms several ways, go back to my Canuary videos, they're pretty cool. I want more mushrooms on hand than that. So I'm going to be freeze drying some mushrooms, and I'll probably just make a whole video about that because I'm going to do the different types like I was talking about. Okay, so then we have this freeze dried food, but we have to make sure that this food is properly preserved. A lot of it we use, daily. So I just keep those in jars and I reseal them. But that seal-a-meal wasn't doing the trick for me. So I got an Avid armor, a USV 32. Avid Armor is actually sponsoring this collaboration, and at the end they're going to be giving away a fantastic starter bundle that actually is the machine that I have, the USV 32, plus other items like a selection of bags that you're going to want to use if you are lucky enough to win this, and some canisters. So that is something that is invaluable in our household, again, as a tool. And you can seal more items than just food. So I have a video that I will show later this month with different things that you can seal up that could make your life much easier in an actual emergency. So that really is what I wanted to talk about today. And if you started canning and prepping and everything, now mind you, I went through my cancer journey and well, I have a test coming up soon. I hope it goes well. If you have done something like this, please let me know in the comments, what started you on your journey of being prepared? Because we've taken it to a much different level. Now we make sure that we have alternative lighting and we have alternative power sources. And I will be talking about those as well as the month goes by. But different places where we live will dictate what we have to prepare for. Life experience will also teach us different things that we need to be prepared for. How many refrigerators might you need? If you're in a situation where you have the room for that, where you have the resources to purchase one, and how do you, think about how you plan what you buy, what you store, and how far out do you make sure that you have food stores? Some people stock up for, 10, 15, 20 years. We don't typically do that, but we do have a very good store that would probably keep us going for about 3 months and not have to go to any store for anything. So being prepared is a journey, and it's a personal journey for every person or family or couple. I do want to show you, though, that I love garlic so much, and I will not buy that stuff in a jar. So I freeze-dry garlic, and I freeze-dry it in different ways. This just happens to be kind of chunked up, and I probably use the equivalent of a half a head of garlic every day. I love it. So I make dressings and things with this. All you got to do is add water or throw it in your super stew, and you're good to go. But I wanted you to see how beautiful. This is organic spinach that I powdered. You can put this into pastas that you make homemade. You can put it into soups and spaghetti and your normal food that you eat. And if you have a family of non-vegetable eating people, This is a really good way for you to think about getting those veggies incorporated in their diet. This is kale, and I should label it, but this is kale, and a lot of people don't like to eat kale, but by golly, you can throw it into some soup or spaghetti sauce or anything, and I'm telling you right now, you're going to get the nutrition without having the other problems of people just not liking it. I love that, and again, I'll be talking about these things more in depth, but I really hope that you enjoy this series this year of 30 Days of Preparedness 2024. At the end of the month, we're going to have a live giveaway. So make sure to look. I have a playlist that I'll drop at the bottom. I'll be adding every channel's video as they upload, and you can get a sneak peek as to who's going to be on. The surprise channels, I'll tell you right now, those are going to be live sessions, and we'll just sit and talk about preparing and being prepared and what it means to us. And I'll be talking to some folks who've been preparing for any kind of emergencies for a long time. I really, really appreciate you coming by, and I hope that you stick with us because there is just a ton of valuable information that you're going to find out this year. Thanks again for stopping by Big Valley Living. Have a great day, everybody. See you later. Be kind.